7 years. Okay? That's right. Isley, Zanetti's, okay? Just to name a few, Firestone. But let's say, okay, we should have got somebody, he says, a tax basin. Right now, we're stuck between a rock and a hard place by putting that junkyard up there. Because now the EPA's got to get involved because now you contaminated the ground. All right? So even if they don't make it here, now we got to have that soil hauled out of here. And you know what happens with a gas station, right? Everybody familiar with that? You got to haul the soil out, it's contaminated. Now let's say we get Walmart back up there, we get Target back up there, we get somebody back up there. You think they're going to want to move back next to a junkyard? I wouldn't want to move next to a junkyard. Once they, hey, and even if the soil's contaminated, nobody ever moves that ground up there. Who's going to move up there? Right? Pardon me?
I was just saying, it's been empty for 30 years.
Right. I mean,
nothing's been here for 30 years.
I understand that. And I'm going to tell you something. We dropped the ball. We dropped the ball the last time at Walmart and Lowe's. We chased people out of this community. We should never chase people out of this community. That isn't a tax base enough. How many people does that employ? Does it employ any of your friends? Is it going to employ any of your friends, you think?
Let's just stay on task.
But it's not going to employ that many people. It's not going to generate that many taxes, and we should have never had it.
Thank you. Mr. Sapp, same question. Why is a junkyard, as many refer to it, allowed to come in our community? How will you ensure residents are safe from what many state is a health issue due to dumping and waste materials?
Okay, so that's a two-part question. Okay, don't boo me. I voted for you pull and pay to come in. Why? Because that lot has been empty for 30 years, and I look out my kitchen window to see drug transactions taking place over there. I look out my window, I see people getting shot over there. I look out my window and I see a blighted area, and it's not pretty. So, did I want another junkyard in Penn Hills? No, none of us do. We have enough junkyards, or whatever you want to call them, whatever nice name you can call them. We have enough of those. But as this gentleman said, we were between a rock and a hard place. So there is no Walmart, there is no Gimbals, there is no Horns coming back, unfortunately. So yes, I voted for a business to come in that will generate some revenue to us, and that will put something there that will it will just try to discourage all of those horrible things that were happening over there, such as drug transactions and gun violence. So yes, I voted for pull and pay. Didn't want another junkyard, but that's all we got. So yes, I did. As far as the health and safety goes, I really can't answer that question other than saying that we're going to have to get EPA, you know, to make sure that the grounds are good. Just like gas stations get safety checks, we're going to have to make sure that that soil is checked, and we're going to have to do our residential duty. Council's going to have to do what they need to do. Everybody's going to have to take responsibility to do what we need to do. There's only 5 people on council, ladies and gentlemen. It takes all of us. All of us are responsible. This is our house and we live here. Unfortunately, Penn Hills is not a bedroom community anymore. There are other rooms in the house. We have to explore them. We have to explore them together. So until we can get other businesses other than junkyards to come in, welcome, you pull and pay.
Thank you. Mr. President, same question. Why is a junkyard, as many refer to it, allowed to come in our community? How will you ensure residents are safe from what many state is a health issue due to dumping and waste materials?
Well, oddly enough, I actually have some experience with one of these U-Pull type of junkyards. I grew up in Schuylkill County, which is 5 hours east, and I fixed cars all the time with my dad. And in Schuylkill County is one of the biggest U-Pulls in the state. It's called Harry's U-Pull. And I distinctly recall my dad would not let me go with him until I was 13 because he said, "You don't want those rats running around your feet." Jesus. And I finally went up there at age 15, and he was correct. There are mice running around everywhere up there. And you know, I'm not about to pass a judgment on all U-Pull type facilities. This was one vendor. I know that's how that one was run. In terms of if I would have voted yes or no for this particular one, you know, my understanding is this vendor has several other U-Pull facilities. Obviously, I would have made the attempts to go visit them, see how they were properly run, and also see what they were doing to ensure our soil wasn't being contaminated. With that said, I agree with everybody here. You know, obviously, we would want to get the EPA in to keep testing our soils and we might not even have to go that strictly right out of the gates. We have so many people that are environmentalists in our community that I'm sure would happily step up to do some visual testing and keep council, knowledgeable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we have a final question for the school board candidates. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Let me ask you the question. I apologize.
All right.
Yes, let me ask you the question. Why is a junkyard, as many refer to it, allowed to come to our community? How will we ensure residents are safe from what many state is a health issue due to dumping and waste materials?
Well, you guys, a junkyard or U-Pool, as a mother, as a person who likes living in a clean neighborhood, if I'm appointed as a city council member, there's no way in good conscience that I could vote to bring in a junkyard to our neighborhood. Honestly, that's the last thing that we need here in Penn Hills if we want to keep our neighborhoods clean and safe. Our neighborhoods to look good, to smell good, and to be enjoyable to walk around in terms of keeping our water clean, in terms of keeping the soil uncontaminated. I'm just not on board with U-Pool. I'll go on record saying that. In terms of safety, we would definitely, at a minimum, keep been surrounded to make sure that the children stay out of it. We'll test the soil to make sure that, and surrounding area soil as well, because things do seep and move around in that type of situation. To make sure that kids in the surrounding area are not going to incur any type of ill effects from that. Now, on that same token, instead of bringing in a junkyard, we can collaborate with the Allegheny Conference for community development to bring in different types of businesses into Penn Hills. I am on board with that. Businesses that will be a boon to our community. Public spaces are very important, and people want to have a clean environment, and a beautiful community is one of the reasons why people stay in their communities. And we don't want to give people one more reason to say, well, did you know this about Penn Hills? I don't like that about Penn Hills. I want to give people multiple reasons to stay in Penn Hills. I want to give people reasons to say, Penn Hills is a great place to live. Did you hear about this new business that's moving in? That's going to bring in lots of local jobs. That's going to look great and not add more glitter to our community. So, no, I do not support U-Pool. I do not support bringing in a dump site to our community. I think that's going in the wrong direction. We want to move forward. I think you all can agree with that. We want to move forward and make our community a better place, not only for ourselves, but for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you.